away. Get away. Back off. What you doing? Get the guy with the bread. Back off.
What is this?
Come back here and pound our people. Back off.
The most confusing fight I've ever seen in my life outside of this lady's house. It's one of these small homes. It's up in the Detroit area. And what was going down was folks came, bailiffs and movers came to kick this woman out of her house. Activists formed a wall around the front door and the fight ensued. I don't know who the bailiffs are. I don't know who the activists are, but everybody's throwing punches. By the way, as I mentioned, the woman is terminally ill. They attempted to evict. Her name was Tara BRAWL. And as she's getting pushed out, let's look at this image of a bit of the fisticuffs and the scuffle that happened. We got tires everywhere. The madness ensued. So we can keep that as I talk about this. The men punched activists in the face, pulled them to the ground by the hair, and kicked them during several clashes that were occasionally broken up by police, occasionally, every once in a while. One of the men, who was a mover for the bailiffs, pulled a knife out and threatened a protester. It was really serious for them to do this. Here's a little bit more of this madness, you guys.
Stop pretending out evictions, y'all.
Listen, hey, listen, stop.
This is professional shit. Hey, the commander says stop. Everybody see what we're doing our job. Doing our job. Doing our job. Stand down.
All of this to evict this lady. It was pretty wild, but this is the thing. I know some of you all are thinking, well, you know what? You got to pay your rent or else you're going to get evicted. Everyone has to follow the same rules. Keep that in mind as we tell you the reasons why they're evicting her. Cass Community Social Services, a nonprofit that designed the homes for lower-income Detroiters, received a court order to evict Brown, even though she paid her rent on time. Wow. Brown and her supporters say that she was evicted in retaliation for blowing the whistle on problems at CCSS. She accused the nonprofit and its director, Reverend Faith Fowler, of fraud and micromanaging residents. She also alleged CCSS never intended to provide permanent homes for the tenants, which apparently is something that they had promised. This is, I guess, just a ploy. And also, if you speak anything ill about us, again, according to the woman and her supporters there, that is what went down. So to talk about this terminally ill diagnosis that she has, the bailiffs and movers arrived shortly after 9 o'clock in the morning to evict her. And she has stage 5 kidney disease and lost a 2-year legal battle to stay in her home that's part of a community of unique tiny houses, not even a normal size house, just a tiny house that she was given some access to. And I guess maybe the neighbors can look up and wonder, shh, be quiet, don't say anything, or else you could be next.
Yeah, this is just a horrible story. It's, I've always thought, like, people that are terminally ill, as long as they're not hurting anyone else, they shouldn't even really have any laws. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they should be able to do whatever drugs they want and also not pay their rent and stuff, as far as I'm concerned. If you're in that state, it's so much more nefarious, though, when you find out these, like, hidden motivations. I mean, she paid her rent, so, I mean, this just seems straight up illegal to me. It's also such a bummer because it's like, this is supposed to be ostensibly an institution working for, like, the greater good or for low income people, you know, this nonprofit. They're supposed to be, like, doing good works in the poor community. And you just see how, you know, anything can be corrupted by, you know, humans' pettiness and things of that nature. Although it sounds like they were onto some shady stuff in the first place, which is what, you know, she was blowing the whistle about, which is how we got in this position to begin with. But yeah, it's just a bit of a travesty all the way around, this one.
I wanted to find out the number of vacant homes in the Detroit area, so I did it really quick. So as of 2021, this is just a really quick search, so just take it for the grain of salt that it could be considered how quickly I had to go through that part. But it says the Detroit area, which is the country's highest raw number of vacant homes in need of repair, also as well, about 12,600 as of 2021. There's a bunch of space, a bunch of places for folks to live, but we're going to dig this lady out of her house because of whatever issue that we have. But again, there's America, the shining example on the hill. And we got groups of folks trying to protect this lady from being shoved out of her home while people are literally fighting, pulling out knives and punching each other in the face to make sure they get close enough to snatch her out of her house. America, trust. If we saw it in some other country that we deem our enemy, it'd be going around about, look at this. They're nowhere near as good as us. Praise us. This country's only as good as the way we treat the people that are lowest level of our economic ladder. Let's keep that real.